Before I even start, you cannot just cleanly downgrade from iOS 18 to iOS 16 unless Apple is still signing iOS 16 for your device. Spoiler, they're not. Apple plays a gatekeeper with signing Windows, meaning once they shut the door on an older iOS version, your iPhone straight up refuses to install it, right? Even if you have the firmware file. It's like trying to use an expired boarding pass at the airport. No entry. That said, I'm not just gonna leave you hanging. I will cover the downgrading is blocked, why downgrading is blocked, the rare scenarios where it works, the hacker slash advanced user loopholes, step-by-step instructions if you actually can downgrade or want to simulate that experience. Start with the first one, okay? Apple doesn't want millions of people rolling back to older versions, bugs, exploitations, security issues, so they use two key systems. Signing Windows, every iOS firmware has a digital approval called Sign. If Apple stops signing iOS 16, your phone checks with Apple servers during install and just say, nope, not allowed. Secondly, the shush blobs. These are unique digital signatures tied to your specific iPhone plus iOS version. If you saved your blobs when iOS 16 was still alive, you might be able to Frankenstein them into a custom restore. If not, the door is closed. Secondly, when downgrade is actually possible, if iOS 16 is still signed for your device, you can downgrade directly using Finder or iTunes. Highly unlikely in 2025. If you saved shush blobs, you can attempt a custom downgrade with tools like Future Store. Right? You can, if you want to know better, you could just type Future Store. Right? Super advanced, by the way. If you didn't do either, you cannot install iOS 16. The only option is to simulate iOS 16 using jailbreak tweaks or buy an older iPhone that's still stuck on it. Step 3. Tools you need: computer, Mac or Windows, latest iTunes, Windows or Finder on Mac, Lightning USB-C cable, right? The iOS IPSW file from ipsw.me, right? We talked about it a lot in length. Check if it's signed. Green means signed, red means unsigned. Okay, check the categories. Right here, iPhone. Let me close this window because there's a lot of ads. And just go to the older version. Okay, as you can see right here, you can find 13, 12, whatever. iPhone 7, let's say. There isn't, so let's say iPhone X. Okay, and you can see right here if it's still signed. Now, step 4, backup before you risk anything. Go to the settings if you're using the iPhone. Main settings, and then click your name. All right, and then hit iCloud. Press iCloud backup. You can find it right here, and make sure that you turn on backup this iPhone or backup now. Right, computer backup. I should say, press backup now. Do not wait until you back up this iPhone. Just back up now so you can keep yourself safe. Computer backup, plug in, then click backup now in Finder or iTunes. Warning, backups from iOS 18 cannot be restored on iOS 16. Only iOS 16 era backups will work after downgrade. Step 5, into recovery or DFU mode. To install iOS 16, you'll need to wipe iOS 18 completely. Plug into your computer, quick press volume up and then volume down. If you are using recovery mode, hold side button until you see the recovery cable screen. If you're using DFU mode, deeper restore, plug in device, quick press volume up then volume down, hold side button for 10 seconds. While still holding sides, press volume down for 5 more seconds. Screen stays black equals DFU mode active. Step 6, restore to iOS 16. Okay, open Finder or iTunes, right, and go to the website ipsw.me. Okay, hold Option on Mac or Shift Windows and then click Restore iPhone. Select the iOS 16 IPSW file and let it run. Your phone will erase and, if signed, install iOS 16. If iOS 16 is not signed, this is where the hacker level stuff kicks in. Use Futurer Store to stitch the blobs into custom IPSW. If you want to visit right here, Futurer website. Okay. It requires command line work, lots of patience, and usually a compatible jailbreak exploit. Even then, success isn't guaranteed. No blobs saved? Sorry, there is no way back to iOS 16. Apple's servers block it. Your only option, jailbreak iOS 18 and use tweaks and themes to mimic iOS 16 UI. Step 8, alternative to downgrade. If you can't actually install iOS 16, here's what you can do. Jailbreak iOS 18 if an exploit exists. Apply iOS 16 themes. Install iOS 16 style launchers via third-party apps. Get an older iPhone, like iPhone 8 or SE2, that was left on iOS 16 and never updated. So, gotta warn you though, wrong firmware, failed restore, or future restore missteps can soft break your phone. All data wiped unless restored from an old iOS 16 backup. Apple won't help if you mess this up. So, downgrading from iOS 18 to iOS 16 sounds like a simple, but just install the older version, right? But in Apple's world, it's like trying to time travel without a flux capacitor. Unless iOS 16 is still signed, almost zero chance in 2025, or you've got shish blobs saved. You cannot downgrade. So the paths are, if signed, use Finder or iTunes plus IPSW restore. If blobs saved, advanced future restore method, as we mentioned. If neither, the jailbreak plus theme or buy an older iPhone stuck on iOS 16. Let me know in the comments if this video helped you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you in the next time.